Yes, man, that's a trailer for a movie of the ages, A Journal for Jordan in theaters, December 25th. What a gift to the world this movie is. I got a chance to see it for myself. I can't give away too much of it, HB and Tracy, but what a
Okay.
wonderful, wonderful gift this movie is. Starring a good friend of the show, DB. Do the honors. I love when you introduce him, man. You put him on such a pedestal. He always comes back.
All right, so last time he was here, he was talking about his film Without Remorse, but I mean, it's great to have him back twice within a couple of months. And I mean, it's always a great pleasure to have him on Sway in the Morning. I was just watching Fahrenheit 451 the other day, which is an amazing film and gave me a greater understanding of what that book was about because I didn't get it when I was in school. But it's great to have him on the show now. He's a star and the executive producer, along with Denzel Washington, who also directed this film, A Journal for Jordan, which is in theaters, like you said, Sway, December 25th. And we got to be very careful that we don't spoil anything. But
Yeah.
Citizens, it is an amazing film and it's based on a true story. So please welcome him back to the show. Our good friend, he's a citizen, Michael B. Jordan.
Michael!
What's going on, guys? What's
What
up?
up?
What's up? What's up? How y'all
What's up,
doing?
Michael?
Good.
Man, it's great.
Good.
It's great to see you, man. Loving the
Great to see you
mustache.
guys too. Thank you, man. It's not quite what it was in quarantine, but it's still here. You know what I mean? It's still here.
Yeah, your mustache grow bigger than my beard, man. I'm a little envious right now, man.
Damn,
And then
right.
I named him Murph. His name is Murphy. You know what I'm saying? Murphy. Every once in a while.
Murphy. Uh,
Murphy the
I,
mustache.
Murphy the mustache. I will say this about the film, Michael B. Jordan, man. In many ways, HB and Tracy remind me of a little bit of myself, man.
There
And,
he
you know,
go.
it's been a lot of people behind the camera. You know, Michael, as you know, I've been behind the camera for over 20 years. You know, did a few
Yep.
movies and stuff. And one of the things that was always important to me was my physique. You know, and I noticed in the film that you put in the kind of work that I
Oh
put
my
in my
God.
past to get my physique to where it is, man. Can you know what I mean, Michael? You know how we
Yeah,
do, man.
we connect on that, man. We understand.
Makes you feel good.
Everybody don't understand what that's like, you know.
Yeah, man. What's been your regiment? Because you obviously, I've seen you. You know, you got to that stage. I remember.
Yeah. Honestly, man, I got phases, man, because I'll be so locked in for a while, but I'm such a foodie, man. I'm such a foodie. So when I don't have to be in crazy shape. I go there. Like I mean, the deliveries, the food deliveries. I'm a taster, so I'm always at like a buffet. I like to have just like a little bit of everything, just to kind of, you know, what I'm saying, taste it all. But my workout regimen right now is, you know, I'm working out probably twice a day, 6 days a week. But it's that intense right now because I'm getting prepared for Creed 3. And since I'm directing this one, I don't have as much time as I would if I was just in front of the camera. So I'm trying to get as in shape as quickly as I can so I could just worry about all the other things I got to take care of. So my workout regimen is pretty crazy right now.
That's
Michael,
that's
now it's time
oh,
for you to ask Sway that question. What's his regiment like? You're free to do that, Michael, right
I
now.
can do it. No, we understand. You know what I'm saying? I pretty much got it right, right? Right, Sway? Same thing, right?
I mean, I'm
Yeah.
5 days a week, you know, but just
Okay, I see you.
but you,
I get you.
you're directing Creed, and I get that. And what's awesome about that, because now you work with Ryan Coogler, obviously Sylvester Stallone, and now Denzel as directors, right?
Wow.
And so,
Mm.
what kind of what are you borrowing or taking from them, and what was the differences in working with those three different directors?
It's crazy. Ryan, when we first did Fruitville, and especially Creed, he told me, Mike, hey man, you need to direct. You just go ahead and do it. It's never going to be the right time. Everything isn't going to be perfect. You just got to jump into the deep end and just go for it. You know, a couple years went by, worked with Stephen Capel on Creed 2, and now Denzel, he's always full of knowledge and gems. He's always imparting wisdom. And one of the main approaches that he kind of told me to take was get a storyboard artist as quickly as possible. And I'm like, storyboard artist? He said, yeah, get a storyboard artist. And I was like, okay. And he explained why. He said, you want to start the visual language of your film as early as possible. So, right there, we were at rehearsals and he called up one of his storyboard artists from the film. And he put him on the phone. He pitched my movie to him and then put me on the phone with him and said, hey man, hire him. And literally like within 7 minutes, I had a storyboard artist, and I was like, "Hey, what's up? Hey, yeah, well, D just told you what I was looking for. Yep, yeah, it'll be an honor. Okay, cool." And literally closed the deal like a week later. And he was doing my boards. And I'll tell you, from that was about a year ago to now, it's helped me out tremendously as far as how to explain to my other department heads what shots I'm looking for, how I envision the scene. So something so small, something so quick, so generous of him, really helped me out for the length of this movie.
Wow. HB, you want to jump in?
Yeah, I do. Michael, hey, what's up? Thank you for joining us again.
Of course.
I know you spent a lot of time in Jersey. I'm a Jersey girl as well. And I actually have a relative that worked with your father while he was working in New Jersey. And one of the things my brother said to me was that your dad was super humble. And, you would never know that his son was his son, and your dad was just beautiful, just straight up kind of beautiful man. And when Sway said, what did you learn and what did you pick up from the directors, I would actually say the same thing about you. Like when people ask us about artists, and I just said this to Zendaya as well, but I would add that you are very humble. And we always notice that all these beautiful accomplishments, all these things you've done, would you say you picked that up from your dad, or was it your mom? Because humility is a beautiful thing to have, Michael, and even harder to maintain in this industry, but you have it.
Thank you for that. I'm gonna definitely pass this along to my pop too, because I know it'll mean a lot to him. Honestly, I think I'm a combination of both my parents. I think my mom's artist. My creative side. You know what I'm saying? I get a lot of that from her, and my dad. Being a Marine, very very strict, hardworking, work ethic. I kind of get that from him. And we've always kind of like approached life as just like treat people how you want to be treated. You know what I'm saying? And it's almost like put your energy on people. You know what I'm saying? Like shield them with what you want them to be towards you. And I don't know, we're really, really spiritual people. So we always try to approach things with a certain sense of humility and, treat people how you want to be treated. I mean, it's that simple. I can't really over explain it. It's just kind of like, I guess it's who I am. It's kind of how I approach life.
That's dope.
Yeah, I know Murph can appreciate it because it looked like you brushed Murph a lot.
Go away, Sway. Go away.
Michael, I'm happy to be speaking to you, my guy. So good seeing you. So proud of you tremendously. Before we get into what I feel like is such a beautiful film, I got to say, you came to mind for me earlier this week. We were interviewing iconic author, journalist, editor-in-chief Danielle Smith, and now she's podcasting. And she mentioned how she started taking acting classes just to get out of her shell more, to hear her voice, to have, I guess, more body awareness so that it could really come through in podcasting. And so I connected to you because I'm wondering how acting has helped you beyond acting. You know what I mean? Like the lessons. Like when you're nervous, can you be like, let me just act like a confident person? Can you create like a storyline for yourself to get through like different scenarios in real life?
I think I've done that before. I can't recall a certain scenario, but I think the ability to make myself comfortable no matter where I'm at, I think that's an ability I've always had, and I think that's might be the reason why I've kind of like gravitated towards acting, or why I've had like, a certain amount of success at a young age that I tapped into, and then been able to kind of like grow and evolve from there. But then also having, the sensibility of being like, when I'm uncomfortable, just to like bounce, you know what I'm saying? And not, and just remove yourself from a situation. But I like to, and then it's also another thing is like, as Black folks, we're always disarming other people to make other people feel comfortable.
That's
you know what I'm saying? I think that's something that is ingrained in us, and we don't even think about it. It's like a second nature thing. And so I think all the ingredients kind of combined, created, this, you know what I mean? In the sense of how I move and how I communicate, and how I kind of blend into certain scenarios, or if I choose to stand out.
DB, you want to jump in?
Yeah. So Michael, you're playing this guy Charles Monroe King, and this is an actual person, and compared to playing a fake character, Killmonger, whoever it is, when you're playing somebody that actually existed on this earth and was a father, a son, a best friend, somebody's boyfriend, whatever it is, you kind of want to bring even more to that person, because there are people who are going to watch this film and they might judge you a little more harshly about your portrayal. It's like, he wasn't really like that. He was a little of a nice, you know what I mean? So when you start to prepare to play an actual person, where do you start from? Is there like a basis for each time, or is it just like, let me analyze this from the perspective of the people that knew him?
I think I look at it at first as how much do we have in common? How much of my own personal life or my personal experiences that I can actually bring to the table. All right. And then you start to workshop it in a way of, there's a certain sense of pressure to get it right, but I'm not trying to imitate either, So it's like I get to know Charles through the people that knew him the best, through his wife, through his son, and then also we were so fortunate to have his thoughts in a journal. It was like an artifact. When Dana brought that to set, it was like, oh man, this is it. This is where this entire journey started, and to read his thoughts and what he felt was important to pass on to his son, really informed me on how to approach Charles as a character. And also, like, this wasn't a biopic, this was like this is a story about the love between Charles and Dana, and the love of this family dynamic. And so we had a little room to bring the essence of Charles. So, there's playing somebody like Oscar Grant, again, didn't have the opportunity to really, to mine from him, of course. So to be able to have to learn from the people around him. So it's a pressure I put on myself to get the job done, and actually, and to get it as close as I can. But then also, what story are we telling right now in these 2 hours, and how do I best get those feelings and get the best version of that to the screen?
Yeah.
Michael B. Jordan is with us. We're talking about the movie, the film, A Journal for Jordan, which is in theaters on Christmas. It's the perfect gift. Listen, you ain't even got to go shopping. Get somebody a ticket to see this movie. All right, and that's the perfect gift. And it's based around Desert Storm, the war in Iraq. And one of the things you'll see in the movie is that moment when the towers came down in New York City. I was actually, all of us, I believe, were all in New York City. I'm not sure about DB at the time that happened. And from there, Michael, I was working at MTV, and at that time we used to do a lot of hard news. So one of my assignments was really to hang out with people who came back from doing tours from Iraq and talk to them about transitional housing, getting back into civilian life. At that time, PTSD was kind of a new phrase for people, and a lot of these young men who were young, 18, 19, 20, 21, had similar stories to tell to Sergeant Charles Monroe King. There's a lot of those stories that are out there. Man, once I sat and talked to folks who really had PTSD and really went over there, I understood how devastating, that journey was for them. And watching you play this, man, reminded me of those times like I was really deeply involved. It was to the point where I had to sit down and seek therapy based on all the energy that I was receiving. Wow. I'm curious, reading through this man's journal and, playing this role, and you played it so well. Both you and Shantae Adams did an excellent job.
She's amazing.
Yeah, she's an amazing actress. You guys did an excellent job. Did it weigh heavy on you? Did even after the shoot, after the movie, after the film was done, how did it affect you?
Yeah, man, it was sometimes it's the weight of responsibility, and also, just like you said, hearing all the stories. A bit of an empath, so I carry that stuff with me, and I pick up energies and I feel it. So even hearing stories from my dad or, other friends and family members that served, and hearing their experiences or their recollection of what happened, or the smells. Let's go crazy. Like even in the project, not to spoil anything, but there's a scene in a moment where Charles is describing, his experience, and how he can't quite identify certain things and he can't quite remember exactly what it was, but he remembers the sounds and the smells and things of that nature that could be triggers for him, you know? So for me, afterwards, it you know, you just gotta woosah, man. Like there's a lot of prayer, you know, there's a lot of meditation, there's a lot of, you know, decompressing after the day. Like you said, you had to go to therapy. I went to therapy after, after on Black Panther, after I played Killmonger, and I didn't even know that's what that was. Why I was feeling that, I didn't connect those dots until months after I got finished with the project. So for this one, it wasn't quite that, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, having an understanding of what that PTSD can be, you know, I definitely took the steps to make sure that I was going to be good afterwards.
I was just curious, what was it about Killmonger that you discovered? That therapy.
It was the place that I had to go to of like sorrow and sadness that this character had, it's being alone. And it was and I tapped into something and I kind of stayed in it, for a long time, and it was yeah, man, it was just hard to kind of communicate and verbalize what I was feeling, you know what I'm saying? So kind of go to a space that you were able to actually kind of like, break that down and get asked the right questions and just be able to vent in a way and be vulnerable without, any like judgment or I don't know, just being vulnerable, I guess. It allowed me to, learn a lot about myself in the process.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I was wondering, now we're seeing so many conversations about how different workspaces can embrace mental health, right? When it comes to their employees. And so in Hollywood, I've always thought to myself, it might be a good idea to have like therapists on set when things get really heavy. Have you thought about that? Like, is that something that's maybe being implemented behind the scenes?
I haven't thought about it. No, I think that, maybe not on set, but maybe available to you at the wrap or something. I don't know. I mean, that I never honestly like thought about it like that. But I think since it is becoming more of a topic and conversation, especially around sports, you see a lot of these athletes taking a lot of heat for like, protecting their mental health and their mental space. And it's something that needs to be taken seriously, like check on somebody that you think is good, check on the person that you think is so strong, because you never really know what somebody's going through, and I think we've seen a lot of those cases the last couple of years, really through this quarantine. People didn't handle that well, at all. So to be able to just be aware of, the help you need, and to be able, hey man, I need a break. That's okay. That is not weakness. That doesn't make you less than anything. So I just think it's an important topic and issue to kind of address. But to your point, I've never thought about that. But I'm sure somebody listening to this conversation might pick up on it and spark something different. You heard it here first, so that's on you.
Michael, is it difficult finding one though? Like as Michael B. Jordan, you know what I mean? I would be wondering, do you try to ask your peers? You want a therapist who understands Hollywood, who's worked with like a celebrity clientele, or do you not want that? You want someone who really just focuses on the human?
I've been blessed, man, to have a lot of great people around me in my tribe, man. Like, from spiritual advisors to, just people that I could talk and vent, even the people, people on my team that, that are here that are like brothers and sisters to me that have known me for, damn near a decade. Those spaces become the vent. That becomes the outlet sometimes. And obviously there's like deeper personal things on certain levels that you definitely need somebody who's a professional, to kind of help kind of mind that and know how to, take that energy and disperse the way it needs to. But, there's a circle of people that you could tap into that has high recommendations and people that kind of deal with, cats of our caliber and stuff like that. So it's out there if you look for it, if you seek it and you're curious enough, you'll find it.
Michael B. Jordan, HB, I know you got to go to Urban View real quick.
Yes, so I got to hop off to another show, Michael. Thank you so much.
Mama. Yes, ma'am.
Family. And God bless them. Man, love. All right.
Thank you.
DB, take the last question. And I know Michael.
Just rolling off of what Tracy said, because she does make a great point about needing to talk through whatever stress and feelings that you're taking on in a character. But at the same time, if you were to talk to a therapist while filming something and you heal from that day of like whatever PTSD trauma that you're portraying a character, but then you have to go back the next day and go right back to being in that headspace. So is it counterproductive to heal while you're filming in a character like that?
I mean, this is all hypotheticals because this is not, I mean, this is we're walking down a road that I'm not sure, but I mean, I think to my point, like maybe at rap, maybe when the project's done, it's like, okay, cool, you're done. You know what I'm saying? Let's go talk about your experience, or make sure you're good. It's like, it's what I feel needs to happen with, a lot of people who serve, and when they come back, there should be things set up in place, what I'm saying, to really help acclimate them back into, society in a real way, because it's different. It's not the same, we gotta give them that respect. We have to give them that proper kind of, that process, so I think that's something that should be looked at in, all workspaces in different fields that has that type of trauma, that type of impact on a human, you know what I'm saying? You need it.
Mm-hmm. Well, listen, Michael B. Jordan, man. Well done, man. A journal for Jordan on Christmas Day, and I think it's important we have these kind of topical conversations when you're talking about war, right?
Yes.
And
exactly.
And this film, covers the full gamut. How a family is affected. The family serves too.
Exactly.
His family served too, and that was portrayed really well. Virgil Williams, the writer of the film, did an excellent job.
Incredible.
And I want to thank you, man, for coming back on it. Hey, man, continued success, Michael.
Yes.
Same,
Michael,
man. Same.
Come on, man. Hey,
anytime you guys need me, let me know.
Okay, cool, man. Anytime. Keep up the workout, man. You're looking like me. I'm proud of you, dude.
Appreciate you, man. Creed 3, y'all gonna love that, but make sure Journal for Jordan, Christmas Day, this is the one. I can't wait for you guys to see it, or everybody else to see it, man. I appreciate the love, and thanks for always supporting me, you guys.
All right, come back for Creed 3, all right?
Done.